Hi, so today I wanted to share with you more about what emotions actually are and how they tie into your emotional eating. So, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and emotional eating expert. And today I really wanted to share more about what are emotions and what's really happening when we emotionally eat. And I think this will give you a lot more clarity and awareness. And that's what it did for me. I had a really basic understanding of emotions when I first started figuring out how to really be with my emotions through my own emotional eating journey. But now it's just so much more clear and I can see it more clearly. And just knowing more about emotions and how we deal with them gives us so much more clarity on what's really going on, and it empowers us to move in a better direction for ourselves. And so this is so helpful to clients that I work with, and I thought it'd be helpful to share it. So essentially what emotions are, the way I think about it is that emotions are a biochemical reaction in our body. And the reason we have that is that we perceive something in our environment, or we sense something, or we think something, and it creates a chemical response in our body. And so each of those chemical responses corresponds with an emotion like happiness, sadness, fear. We're creating that in our body. So our emotions really are created in our body. We're feeling that in our body. And so normally what would happen is that we would, if we were using emotions to our benefit, we would feel through whatever emotion was coming up and we would hear the message of it. So usually what we label positive emotions are telling us, yes, go more in that direction, and negative emotions are telling us we need to change something, or not go in that direction, or something's not in alignment with what I really want as who I am. And so that would be what emotions tell us. They're really telling us which direction to go or what we need to change in our life if we just allow ourselves to feel it and then take in the information and make a change or move in that direction. But what happens in our society is that we're taught to hold in emotion, and especially negative emotion, because it feels uncomfortable in our body. It doesn't feel good in our body because it's telling us, it's alerting us to make, this doesn't feel good. Let's move in a different direction. But as a society, we don't want to feel those negative things. And so we create ways to push aside or distract or suppress or cut off from feeling those emotions. That's kind of in general what's happening. So we just bypass them. We don't ever want to dive into them because we've been taught for a really long time, we don't understand emotions, not to feel them. So that's what emotions are telling us. If we were to feel them, we'd hear what they're saying, but we don't. We stop it with this kind of pushing away. And so as emotional eaters, what we do is we use food. So how does this even start? So when we're really young, our parents or caregivers, because we live in the society that tells us that these emotions are not good and we shouldn't feel them, and so we think we shouldn't feel them, we want to get rid of them, we're not really understanding what they are. What we do is that either we see this in our parents model to us, or we're given food when we're not feeling great to make us feel better. And so we learn that, oh, when I'm not feeling good, I'll just eat food to feel better. Either we already know eating food makes us feel great, so we kind of create emotional eating ourselves, or we see it in our parents. And the thing is that yes, food does feel good. It makes us feel good when we eat it and put it in our body. There's another chemical response in our body that feels good, but it's just on top of the emotion. If the emotion's not felt, it's still under the surface waiting. So we just kind of put a Band-Aid on top of it. The food is a Band-Aid. It's a coping mechanism. And so just the way our brain works, we automatically, every time we don't feel great, our brain connects to, oh, we need food. So we automatically keep going to the food. So we're in this pattern. And so that's what happens. It's not that, emotional eating is really telling us that there are emotions that we need to be with and process. And so because our society tells us to push away these emotions, to put them to the side, to not feel them, they're not good, we use emotional eating to distract ourselves from it. And we may have been doing this for so long that we don't even realize we're doing it until we get older and we're emotionally eating because let's say we're going through a really stressful period in time, which we are. We keep going and eating, and this is the only way we know how to deal with these negative emotions. We're not taught how to actually process those emotions and to get into them. And so that is so important. Now that we see we're using the food to deal with our emotions, now we have to actually get into how do we be with our emotions? How do we start listening to them again? How do we start processing them? Because they're all now stuck in our body and they keep coming up and more keep coming up. So that's the next step. Now that we're aware of what's going on under the surface, we have to relearn, or we have to just learn how to feel safe feeling our emotions. And so this is what I teach the clients in my program, the Emotional Eating Evolution program. And so basically what it is that throughout the program, we're learning that first of all, you have permission to feel all your emotions. They're not going to last forever, especially if you're able to really be with them and feel them. Emotions they don't last forever. That's something that we think. If I feel an emotion, it's going to be forever. Emotions don't last forever. They have a certain amount of time frame. They might be a couple of minutes to longer or even shorter, but the more you're able to feel them, your body doesn't want to be in a heightened state forever. It wants to come back to neutral and calm. Your nervous system always wants to come back to calm. And so throughout the program, we're learning that it's okay to feel. And the more we can feel, then we can release more. But it goes further than that. After we've been using, food to really soothe ourselves for so long, we have to get into that pattern and find a new way to be with our emotions. And so that means really, really learning to feel safe in our body, to feel like we can hold those emotions, because after we've pushed them away for so long, they can become, kind of separate to us, separate in our mind, and they can create more sabotage and they can overtake us. And so now we're dealing with almost like when you hear that that internal fighting of one voice saying eat and one saying no, like you really don't want to eat the food. You don't, because you know that if you eat the food, you're going to feel bad. But the other voice is saying, I need to eat the food because I don't know how to cope with that emotion. And so we get them on board and they start learning a new way of being. And so how we do this is we start recognizing, becoming more aware of triggers, of moving through the somatic meditations that I give to clients through the program and that they do with me privately, so we can go deeper into the body, into where those emotions are stuck and have been stuck for many years, to process them out, to resolve them and transform them and find a better way of doing things to really meet those needs that have been sort of stifled for so many years. And so as we move through this process, we start feeling more and more safe with our emotions. We feel safer expressing our emotions, and we start really hearing the messages of them and creating change in our life that is going to make us feel better. So it's such an amazing process. And so if you are resonating with what I'm saying and you're seeing that emotional eating is so much more than just controlling your food and doing another diet, and you're looking for more support, then I would invite you to apply and book in an emotional eating assessment call to see if the program is a great fit for you and can help you move past your emotional eating, and to give you more clarity as well. So if that's something that you're looking for, then I would love to invite you to that call. And and of course, please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And I look forward to sharing more with you. And I hope you have a great day.